I guess when I think of customization, it's the little tiny details of things that make them stand out against other things.
Well, for example, let's say if I take I'm gonna say a Johnny Cash sample, you know, that's the first thing that came to my mind. And then, you know, I just use something that he said that actually relates to my life. And then I make a beat over that, and then I use that sample. You know, I mean, the beat is mine, but then the message is still the same because he said something that related to me, and I'm saying something that related to somebody else. So it's all universal. You know, you can sample as much as you want, but you know, but it's still universal because somebody is gonna feel the same way you feel, and there's like 7 billion people in this world. So
I had a bunch of broken toys, and my dad, he just found a hot glue gun really recently, and so I kind of forgot which ones they were, so I just kind of attached them back together, and it ended up to be mutants, and so I started doing that ever since, and then she got the hang of it, and so now we make mutants.
I think it's a different kind of understanding of personalization than maybe we understand. I think the sort of identity of being a part of an ethnic group is really important to the people I've talked to, and you know, sometimes I think that in America, I've worked in a lot of different organizations with different ethnic groups and a lot of different Asian groups, and the big complaint is that everybody thinks there's this monoculture, but in fact it's a very, very, very diverse area of the world with a lot of people of different traditions, and that sense of identifying with a group personally but also as a group it's really important.
There's a pretty big culture around like customization, and everyone's out trying to outdo each other, so I don't know if I can necessarily top those other people, but I'm just happy to have a computer that I like and is like my style.
I definitely modify clothing a lot. Like I get little rosebuds and sew them on the hoods like around here, or I've done some embroidery and I've put some patches on. So mostly just to make it more interesting, because a lot of clothes are kind of boring if you just leave them. And yeah, if I have clothes at home that I haven't been wearing for a while, then to make them more special, I'll modify them. Yeah.
Depending on the car. Good question. I think on the car, I do meet a lot of purists that get really upset when we tear apart something really rare. But we do it in usually the era or the tradition of that. But you know, I have a few cars that are completely makes everybody mad. You know, I tore up a bunch of things that people didn't want to see happen.
You know, I love the fact when you find somebody that says, oh, I'm not an artist, I'm not a musician, you know, I don't know how to tattoo, but they have customized their own lives and created something out of their own personality. Everybody can be creative, everybody can customize something.
I'd say they do something so well that I wish I could do.
That's true too.
You know what I mean? It isn't, they might not be an artist or they might not be something else, but they have something else that they do that I'm just in awe of.
Yeah,
and that's almost, you know, doing your own thing, or, you know, learning how to do something.
I do have a dress that's very, very plain, and the reason it's very, very plain is you can change it. You can put something on under it, you can put something on over it, it's a collar that comes off, or you put it back on. And
did you make those additions, or did you
somebody out made the dress for me, but the additions are stuff that I already have.
Oh, I see.
You know, like a belt or a pair of tights.
I see.
Or you know, you wear a turtleneck under it, or wear nothing. Well, under it. I mean, not a turtleneck under it. But I don't know if that's customizing it in a way.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I think it's fixing it up to show other people, but it also has an element of fantasy, of like, how can I make this beyond what I first started thinking about? And then with different materials, what I can do to make that happen.
Usually, I feel like the pieces that I do find are begging for a change, begging for new life, and I go for it.
That the people who use our site really want to have something that nobody else has, and they want, like, they want to be the only person who's sending out these cards, and they're not the type of people necessarily who will like design their own cards or get their own stuff printed, and so they just they have us be the middleman for that part of it.
Lost art. It's a tradition. My grandfather did it. My dad does it. It's really neat, you know, to pull 4 pieces of junk that's, you know, some junk to someone and make it something cool.